Hi, this is Pat Iyer, and I brought on this video with me Melanie Balestra, who is a nurse attorney who's one of the speakers at our Legal Nurse Consulting virtual conference sponsored by Legal Nurse Business. Melanie, what are you going to be telling our conference attendees about?
I'm going to be talking to the attendees about building a sound foundation for their LNC practice and how to keep their practice going safely, soundly, and most of all, so that it will bring them the money that they need to keep it going and be able to enjoy the practice.
And we know that having a strong business that's bringing in money is going to be of extreme interest to you, our conference attendee. Tell us, there are different ways that you can structure a business. Will you be covering what's the difference between a S-Corp, a LLC, a sole proprietor? Are you going to be covering any of that?
Yes, I'll be covering all of that. And there's a lot of misunderstandings about what kind of entity you should have for your business. And this depends on state laws, what you exactly plan to do with your business, tax considerations. All of this will be explained, compared, contrasted, and help the LNC to understand which one would be best for he or she.
And you know, I get a lot of questions from legal nurse consultants about their fee agreements. What should they put in their agreements? Is it enough to just say, this is my hourly rate? Are there any tips that you can share on what language we should put in those fee agreements?
Yes, I'll be talking about all the fee agreements because you're going to have your fee agreement with your client. You're going to have the fee agreement with the expert witness, and you may also have a fee agreement with someone that is working for you as an employee or as an independent contractor. And the fee agreements are extremely important because it is very easy for someone to say, well, this wasn't in the fee agreement, that wasn't in the fee agreement, and you won't get any fees. And this has happened over and over, and I've seen it happen in attorney practices. So that I will be going over different phrases that you can make sure are in your contracts to protect you. Because the biggest problem is that you don't want to have to sue somebody for a fee, because you either will not get the fee or you'll spend so much money getting it that it cancels out and you really don't make anything. So this is going to be an extremely important part of the presentation.
I know I've been in that position in my legal nurse consulting business of having to go after attorneys for collection issues. So I know that our attendees are going to want to know how they can avoid that trouble to begin with and get paid every time. Which brings me to my last question. You're a nurse, you're an attorney. Can you share, or will you be sharing with our attendees, any insights on the communication between the LNC and the attorney?
Yes, I will. I will be discussing different subjects that the LNC can bring up with the attorney, ways of getting clarification from the attorney, and just ways of easily working with attorneys, because attorneys have different personalities, as do normal people, but sometimes egos in attorneys can be a little bit higher. And so you want to be able to have the attorney understand what you're saying. You don't want the attorney to become defensive, but you want the attorney to realize you know what you're doing and you are going to provide the best services possible, and why you provide better services than anyone else.
I couldn't have said it better, Melanie. That's great. Thank you for sharing this little preview of what you're going to be covering in the conference. And for our viewer, be sure to check on the link below so that you can grab a ticket for our virtual conference coming up July 9th and 10th and July 16th and 17th, 2020. Be sure to be there and don't miss Melanie's talk.
Thank you. See you then.